All right. Did you ever think that you would become a missionary?
Absolutely not. I never in a million years. It never crossed my mind. I wanted to be a Spice Girl. You what? Ready?
Hey guys, I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jess. And we are uncertainly certain about the life that God has called us to.
We are. So we've been married for 3.5 years. And it's been amazing. I was a landscaper, turf grass manager. Now I live
in the desert.
In the desert. There's not much grass here. We're missionaries and worship leaders, and
I previously did hair.
Yeah.
I was a hairstylist for 5 years. Loved it. Love every second. I still love it. Just did my hair a couple days ago, actually. Shout out to Maylee for my toner.
Look at that fade. She's good. I'll tell you, she's good.
Anyways, I did hair, was loving it, and yeah, God called us to the desert to be worship leaders with Algomas. We were living in North Carolina, love it there, and we were living in a 3-bedroom house with just us and our dog Macy.
We were living on family land. I know for me it was something that, it was something that I dreamed of ever since I was a little kid. We were living the dream. We were blessed with a house that the Lord provided. We were deemed pretty successful for our age and the stage in life that we were in.
Yeah. We've made a huge transition in our life. We took a huge pay cut. We're now support raised. We went from a 3-bedroom house to 1 room in a house with 8 people and 4 dogs. Completely different career. We just started playing music together like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's completely different now. We wanted to do Uncertainly Certain to kind of give you a glimpse into what that looks like. What does it look like following what God has called you to do, and what God says for you to do, and what does your life look like? What does your marriage look like? What does that feel like? So, welcome to chapter 1 of Uncertainly Certain. We just moved across the country.
I'm sorry, she was really beautiful.
Welcome to chapter 1 of Uncertainly Certain. No, we just moved across the country.
You ready for some questions?
So, how do you like living with other people? You know how I have to be like mentally prepared?
I do. I actually do love it.
I mean, there's nothing worse than having to you have to pee and there's no bathroom available.
It was difficult the first week or so getting used to it and figuring all that out.
I remember talking to my sister and being like, I knew this was gonna be really hard, but it's even harder than I thought it was gonna be.
So I think it's a constant learning curve, and that's what I love about it is, we're really pouring into each other's lives every day, and I love that I can be having a bad day and I walk out my door and there's someone meeting me there to guide me in a godly direction. There's, I have godly friends surrounding me all the time. So what is it like giving up your entire life, your home, comfort, and what society deems as success? What's that like? It's hard for people to see everything that has been given up to follow God. It's hard for people to see the tears that are shed almost every day. Tough times, the counseling sessions, the leading people.
When I'm doing what God wants me to do, I'm as successful as I'm gonna be. Tell me something you feel like through our new life and through this experience that you've learned about yourself.
I need more me time than I thought I did. I realized the job that I worked before, a lot of times I had my headphones in by myself all day. And so all the time I was like, I just need to be around people. And now that I realize I need a little more me time to gather my thoughts and figure out what I'm trying to figure out.
Does living with children make you want to have your own children sooner?
All the time, all the time, all the time. Wow.
Or wait a while to have children? Dude, this is like kind of crazy.
That one's... I have to be careful. What if they see this?
What do you think Jesus is teaching you the most right now in this very moment?
I ask you the same question.
I know.
I think patience with people. I think patience with you, you know. I think because when we had a 3-bedroom house, I mean, your mess is spread out. And so it's like if you throw your clothes on the floor, I want to punch you in the face. I mean, that never happened.
I think it's been just trusting God's provision, trusting God that through this whole process, nothing has been easy, nothing has been certain.
Actually, I think God also is teaching me to be more organized.
Yeah. Well, you know, you didn't mention anything about the drive down. How good were your naps?
Well, I very specifically didn't mention anything about that.
Yeah. You know, I was going to bring it up. I'm still a little bit salty about it.
Yeah.
So just so you guys know, this is what Jess saw on the way down.
That's not true. I saw Joanna Gaines' house. We both were like,
how do you keep your marriage strong in a community environment?
oh, I think before this, we've done a pretty good job of communicating with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that this opened up a whole new world of communication for us, and like how very important it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that we're not putting our issues on anyone else.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're able to go and do the job that is set before us to do well.
And also remember what you were saying the other day when we were in the grocery store. I was like, oh, I hate this. Let's get out of Walmart. And you're like, you know, I kind of enjoy it because we're together by ourselves and we're getting to spend time with each other. You know, I know when you said that, I started thinking, you know what, you're right. You're right. So it's enjoying the moments, the little moments you have together to just enjoy each other and be in each other's presence. What makes you the most anxious about this life we live now, and how do you deal with it?
I cannot believe that you're asking that question. Oh no, am I gonna cry? No, but yeah, so like I just had a really bad day the other day. I started to feel very like, it wouldn't be, I mean, it's anxiety, but it turned into, the anxiety turned into feeling depressed. Because, I don't know, it just kind of, a lot of things just kind of started flooding through my mind of, this is not what I thought it was gonna be, or, I miss my friends, or like I miss my family, and like it just kind of made me start like longing for something like different than what was happening in that moment. I think we all know, like, when we're anxious, we already are feeling like claustrophobic. You're already feeling like something is like closing in like on your insides.
Yeah.
And you can't breathe. And then I think whenever you throw in sadness and like depression on top of that, it's really hard to like be yourself around people.
Yes.
So for me, it was prayer and talking with Michelle. I think that we have our most anxious moments when we forget about who's actually holding us and who actually is in control. If I can just tell myself that, you know, when I'm having really, really bad anxiety or falling into a pattern of sadness, I mean, God's got me. I'm fine. These are just emotions.
You know, I always keep being reminded of the disciples and, you know, the life that they lived, the uncertainty that they lived in. And I think of, you know, being in that spot right now when the disciples, you know, first met Jesus and they're out fishing. They have everything, their entire lives, their entire livelihood. And God says, come on, boys, let's go. And they just dropped everything. And they had nothing, you know, and God says the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. And that's true, but God always provides. There's never been one time I've gone without a meal. I've always had a comfortable bed to lay in. I've always been surrounded by loving people. And just the fact of trusting God and what He has in store, because His ways are better than my ways, and the plan that He has in store, because the plan I had for my life, if I was still following the plan I had, it'd be a boring life. It would look so much different than where I'm sitting at right now.
I think that the joy of what we do outweighs any of the expectations that I had or any of the difficulties that we experience. So no, I never thought that I would be sitting here talking about this, or really be married to someone like you. So I'm winning all around. All right, so thanks for tuning in with us. We would really love to know what you think about this video, and also what you would want to hear us talk about. What are questions that you have for us? We would love to hear that. We want to answer all of your questions. And thank you again for tuning in. We're excited that you are a part of our journey now.
We are definitely uncertainly certain.
Shout out to Katie Dorwell. We love you.